Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're down in the pumpkin patch. We're going to get it cleaned up, amended, and tucked in for the winter. The pumpkin patch is a bit of a mess right now. What I'm planning on doing is pulling out this fabric that's in there right now. I'm going to clean up these butternut squash that grew out of the compost this year, and I'm going to give those to the animals. And then I have this pile of sand here that I want to take over to the pumpkin patch and evenly scatter it all the way throughout so it works its way into the clay and starts loosening it up, making it into a nicer soil. I do have a little bit of mushroom compost left here and some leaves that I'm going to probably throw on as well. In the last video, if you missed it, we tucked in all the raised beds for winter, covered them up with leaves, and they're ready to go all winter long. And Echo Pup's down here. He's going to help us hunt some moles and mice while I do all the work. And it's a couple days later. Me and Echo are back out here. Where I left off was I got all this sand spread out through the pumpkin patch, the fabric ripped out and set over on the other side. Now I want to come in and clean up the whole vegetable patch, the tomato fence, and then I'm going to put a large sheet of black plastic over the pumpkin patch. That's going to keep it covered and warm for the winter so all the microbes on the soil don't get frozen off. It's also going to keep any of the weed seeds from germinating too early in the spring, as well as warming up the soil in the spring before I get my pumpkin in. And then I'm going to cover the pumpkin patch with a large sheet of black plastic. That's going to do a few things for me. That's going to keep the soil covered and the microbes happy so they don't get frozen off in the winter. It's also going to warm the soil up quicker in the spring with the black plastic being the covering, and it's going to not allow the weed seeds to germinate whenever the soil does warm up. That way I'll have a nice clean empty patch to plant my pumpkin in the spring. I'll also be building some laying boxes for my chickens in another video I'm trying to make today, so I'm going to try and get this done. Let's just go ahead and get started. All right, that's looking pretty good. I did expand the garden last year, so this black plastic doesn't actually fit the whole garden. So I have about a 6-foot strip running along this back side that I'm gonna see if I have a piece of good plastic for, and if I don't, no big deal, at least I got the majority covered. But I am gonna try and find a little strip for that side. I got the vegetable strip all cleaned out, pulled all the weeds out. Echo's working on getting any of the moles or mice out of there. And I got the tomato cage all pulled off and cleaned up. The pile of weeds and grasses that I pulled out of here is not gonna go into the compost because it is just full of seeds. So I just throw it on the back side of the swash mound and it'll compost back there, adding to the soil what it can. And those aren't gonna really bother me because that seed bank back there is already pretty saturated. Now we have the vegetable garden ready for winter. We did start out with the cut flower bed on the outside. We got the existing flower bed all cleaned up and a new cut flower garden created. Then we got everything cleaned out of the raised beds and covered all the raised beds up with a nice layer of leaves. And now the vegetable strip is all cleaned out. The tomato cage is cleaned off and the pumpkin patch is amended and covered for the winter. That's gonna be all for this video. If you enjoy gardening videos, make sure to subscribe down below. If you want some more videos from Whitt Acres, go in the description below and check out my other 3 YouTube channels. If you're doing any shopping, check out my store down below with nature-inspired designs for nature lovers. Also, if you're doing any shopping on Amazon, I have an affiliate link in the description below. You can click that and I'll earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.